Hollywood's biggest stars are rallying for a good cause this week with the Save Our Children campaign. Celebs like Jessica Simpson, Brad Pitt, and Gwyneth Paltrow headlined a charity event to help their suffering kids who desperately need a chance to live a normal life. Angelina Jolie talked to Starfix about the charity, saying, quote, "You don't have to be a mother to want to help my children, many of whom are not getting a proper education. If you look at the numbers, 1 in 5 of my children will struggle with drug problems." Joining us now is a representative from the charity, Julie Harrison. Julie, it was such a great cause.
Absolutely. We're talking about children who don't have any positive role models. They're born into a life they didn't ask for. And if the state's not going to step up and help these kids, it's time someone did something.
Here's a quote from Victoria Beckham, and I found this powerful. "It breaks my heart to think about these kids living somewhere in my house with no hope for a happy future. Who knows if they even have food to eat?" Julie, according to your group's website, a staggering number of STARS children are being exploited growing up without parents.
Right.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it is Free Talk Live. You are invited to join us here on our toll-free lines. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm. And that is where you can call in and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio. Very high-quality audio on Discord, and it's a free app, so why not get Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Nobody.
So let's talk about socialism, Nobody. There's another disturbing poll that has come out recently, is being reported on over at the Washington Examiner. Brad Palumbo writing about a Axios poll, or at least Axios is, YouGov, I guess, did this poll, of young people and their opinions about so-called socialism. It says here they're turning towards socialism and to some extent even communism. At least that's what the results of the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation's latest annual poll suggest. So I'm guessing based on the name of the organization that commissioned the poll, the Victims of Communism, I suspect that the people paying for the poll probably aren't fans of communism. But apparently the people responding are, the survey was conducted by the reputable polling firm YouGov, and it surveyed a representative sample of 2,100 Americans. The results, they say, are downright disturbing. The new data show that 64% of Generation Z and 70% of millennials say they're likely to vote for a socialist. Meanwhile, just 20% of millennials think the Communist Manifesto better guarantees freedom and equality than the Declaration of Independence. 36% view communism favorably, strangely, and 15% think the world would be better off if the Soviet Union still existed. And 22% of millennials think, quote, society would be better if all private property was abolished, while 35% view Marxism favorably. So it's kind of strange that so many of them would vote for a socialist, but minorities of them actually seem to be really into communism. So
yeah, well, I mean, there's always been a minority of communists, and it's a seductive thing, especially if you if you have less than average, then out of a point of view of greed, if you don't understand economics and you think production is going to stay the same, it's like, oh, well, if everybody gets the same thing, then I'll have average, and now I have a lot less than average, so I'll have more. What they don't realize is that if you're not producing anything, having an equal share of nothing is, well, no, they carry the one. Oh, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit more than nothing in the Soviet Union, but not that much more. I mean, you did get bread lines, so there must have been some bread at some time.
Well,
right?
I mean, yeah, but the point is, it's an equal share of the smaller pie is worse than a below average share of a larger pie.
Well, and the reason why that you mention here is because people they're motivated by incentives. They respond to incentives, and in a marketplace, and even a semi-free marketplace, which we don't have a free market here in the United States. It's highly regulated and controlled by governments. Which damages the amount of wealth that we can create. It dramatically harms it. But yet we have enough freedom, compared to other places to where you can still create some wealth here in the U.S. But if you don't have that freedom to make choices for yourself, if you don't have the freedom to own property, the freedom to invest and create your own thing that you can either fail or succeed at, then if it's all owned by the state, if it's all owned by the communist government.
Well, that may not be how they define socialism and communism, because I identified as a Marxist
when you were young.
Yeah, you know who got me off Marx?
No, who?
Marx. I read the Communist Manifesto.
So you were a Marxist before you'd read the manifesto.
Well, I said I was, but I didn't know what a Marxist was. Is the thing. And
you just knew there were some guys wearing berets who looked pretty cool, right?
It wasn't even that. I mean, what I railed against then was the same thing that I rail against now. People are poorer than they should be. There's a lot more it's I don't like that people are trapped in poverty. That should not be the case. And so, and all of the injustices that, or some of the injustices at least, that the socialists identify are not wrong. I mean, for people to be homeless in America as advanced as we are, that's insane. What I didn't understand is that that's a problem created by government. And I didn't learn that later. There was a gap when I was just kind of not socialist, but I would call myself libertarian progressive, which basically means I didn't understand economics.
Yeah.
But my general bent was toward human freedom, but I saw the system of employment as authoritarian. Okay, because that's
some people see it that way. You can see like some young people I've seen online, for instance, will like on their dating profiles refer to themselves as a slave at some restaurant or whatever, and it's like no, I don't think you know what slavery is.
Well, the thing is, they are at least part-time. They're paying taxes, right?
Well, yeah, but that's not what they mean, though.
Well, it's not what they mean, but that's what I mean. There's a kernel of truth there. They are making a lot less than they should make. The ones who are, staggering under student loan debt, they got screwed. The thing is, the screwing that they got was enabled by government. Government was an essential part of that.
Guaranteeing
Without
loans.
the government to say... The government did two things in the student loan debacle. The first thing is they wrote loans without bankruptcy protection, and every loan has bankruptcy protection. It's considered a basic human right to get a fresh start if you get too far in a hole, unless the creditor is the government. If it's the government and you get in too big of a hole, well, I guess you'll die, because there's no, whatever you earn, they're going to take it from you.
Well, I don't know if I agree with you that it's a basic human right. That's
I don't know that it is a basic human right.
That's a way to take advantage of the system.
But that's how it was regarded.
Yeah.
It was regarded. I mean, if you don't have a centralized monopoly system and you have, a variety of local systems, then you don't need bankruptcy, because worst case, you just move on to another town.
Well,
it's only when you have a centralized totalitarian system that you can get into a situation where your life is untenable, but you're still alive and you're not just going to die. So what are you going to do? You're going to wander around and mope.
We may still have, even the absence of a state, we may still have identity that's, attached to you. There are going to be people who want to know who you are when you're trying to open certain accounts and that kind of thing. You could try to go and change your identity, and you then would start from zero. So maybe there would be effectively a way to do it. But some people are going to want to have their identity and have good credit and things like that.
And it's not even so much a matter of Without getting into the goods or bads of bankruptcy protection in general, the reason that they took bankruptcy protection off of student loans is because from the get, they knew that a lot of people weren't going to be able to pay, because they knew they were going to write a lot of bad loans. And so that makes it very much like the housing crisis. The difference is, in that case, people were happy to write bad loans because the housing market was rising so fast that they would foreclose on something that was worth 3 times as much as they lent against it and win. So if you create an environment where people profit by doing bad things, they'll do bad things.
Sure. 855-450 free like freedom. We can continue more on communism and socialism. It's apparently pretty popular among young folks in the United States. Free Talk Live.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org. Acapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntariist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000. 859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
After decades of searching the cosmos, today NASA announced that what it was really looking for was right here on planet Earth all along.
For years, we've foolishly chased after comets, moons, and stars. Outer space may be beautiful, but it's not as beautiful as the smile of a child, nor as sublime as a good bottle of wine shared among friends. Our search ends where it began, here on this big blue marble.
Astronomers say that while their telescopes were pointing at Mars, they never even noticed the planet that was right in front of them. NASA now plans to appreciate what they already have. The agency's latest report, entitled Wonder is Everywhere, Finding the Beauty in the Everyday, calls for further study of the little things that truly give life meaning.
Warm rain on a summer day, the smell of pine trees, touching the worn paper of your favorite book, that's what's always made us happy. Not some asteroid a million miles away.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the show. You're invited to join us on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
We've been talking about socialism and a disturbing study by YouGov that surveyed 2,100 Americans, finding that a fairly large number of young people would be willing to vote for a socialist, or likely to vote for a socialist. 64% of Gen Z and 70% of millennials said that. We will tell you more about it on the way here. Plus, I do want to make sure that you know about local.bitcoin.com. It is a great place to go to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash. You can use dozens of payment methods. Some of those payment methods are higher risk than others, so if you're going to be selling, make sure you do your due diligence.
It's true.
And you learn the hard way.
Oh, many times.
But there is some money to be made there. You just got to be careful. If you're buying, you don't have as much risk if you're just a buyer, but make sure you buy from somebody who's got some selling under their belt. Make sure they got some transactions. They got some good reputation. That'll help you have a smooth transaction at local.bitcoin.com. And by the way, there's no ID requirements to sign up for the site or use the site. If you have ID and you want to show it, sorry, they can't take it from you. There's not even a spot on the site to show ID. It's a private trading platform that allows you to connect with buyers and sellers, and it's easy.
Which is not to say that a particular seller might not require
That's
ID,
correct. But the site itself.
But the site does not. So there will almost certainly be some sellers who do not.
I'm one of the sellers that will require ID, but some sellers don't.
Yeah, Aria doesn't require ID, I don't think.
That's the last I heard. Yeah, you're right about that. So check it out at local.bitcoin.com, and we'll talk to you about whatever's on your mind. If you want to join us here, you can. We've been sharing details from this poll over at Axios, finding out that a fairly large number of young people are interested in voting for a socialist, saying they are, quote, likely to vote. 64% of Generation Z, 70% of millennials. One of the things I think I was trying to touch on in the last segment was the idea of incentives, because you were talking about how a lot of people who don't understand economics will look at socialism or communism and feel like they're going to get a good deal. They're going to get more wealth if you take from the rich and give to the poor, and they just don't understand that once the incentives change, as far as, well, you no longer get to own things under socialism or communism. You no longer get to start your own business. You no longer get to decide, your own path in life, basically. That's all done by central committee. It takes away any kind of incentive to truly exceed, because you don't actually get paid what you're worth. If you're the best waitress at a restaurant or whatever, you don't get paid any more than the worst waitress at the restaurant. And that's true society-wide. So why bother exceeding? Why bother?
Yeah. And of course, that's in a particular extreme form. Most of these kids would say, I'm not a socialist or a communist. I'm a democratic socialist.
And
okay?
I'm not sure I know what the difference is.
Well, the thing is, there's certainly a difference between Sweden or Denmark and Venezuela or the Soviet Union.
Right.
There's a huge difference. Sweden and Denmark are poorer than we are, but they're not that much poorer than we are. So it's not like they're starving to death like they are in Venezuela.
Well,
but the thing is, if you ask the Prime Minister of Sweden, it was actually Prime Minister of Denmark who said this. He said, we're not socialist.
Right.
Okay. And he didn't say we're not socialist, we're democratic socialist. He said we're not socialist, we're capitalist. So what a lot of these kids really want is capitalism with a large welfare state. Okay, which is a more reasonable desire, because it's not as obvious that it wouldn't work. As a matter of fact, until you've really studied some economics, it's not obvious at all that it would make things worse. And nobody wants to see people starving on the street. And I don't say that self-referentially.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard not.
No one.
I have to learn not to use that word inappropriately.
That's got to be one of the biggest challenges of being named nobody.
It's
accidentally referring to yourself when you didn't intend.
Well, it's that, and also every time somebody asks me my name, it's a conversation.
Yes.
It's like, what's your name? Nobody. Really? Well, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but my terms on
local bitcoins
on localbitcoins.com actually say, after I give my account information, it says, yes, my legal name is nobody. Long story.
It's not that long of a story, but you don't want to have to tell it every time that you're doing business with somebody.
Yeah. Although now that I think of it, really, I should be putting the elect nobody URL into my goodbye information. I mean, I mentioned the Church of the Invisible Hand there, but that's kind of backburnered while I'm being nobody.
That's a great point. Let's go to the phones here. We can talk more about socialism here in moments. Plus, I do have a story about Venezuela. You mentioned them earlier. And what's going on?
Those poor bastards.
Yeah,
I was talking to a beautiful girl down there on Facebook. And
let's get her out of there. Can we get her out of there?
Well, I don't think they'll let her go.
That's part of the problem. They are putting border patrol up in Venezuela to keep people in.
That's basically, I think, the difference between democratic socialism and socialism is democratic socialism, they have walls to keep people out, and socialism, they have walls to keep people in. And I'm not saying democratic socialism is a good idea, because, I mean, there's some ways like healthcare, it would be an absolute disaster.
Just look at the VA.
It's not moving into the Soviet Union. And when the Republicans for decades, every time, they said, well, let's do another social program, they'd say, oh, that's socialism. And so the people who are saying they want socialism now are going on the stuff that the Republicans said was socialism that isn't really socialism. It's capitalism with a large welfare state.
Let's get Matthew. He's in North Carolina on the line here. Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hi. So I wanted to ask you guys about how to cope with bullying, because I suffer from Tourette's. It's not so serious.
Okay, before you go on, is this the kind of Tourette's where you're going to say curse words on the radio, or is it the kind of Tourette's where you kind of make noises that don't sound like curse words?
Yeah.
And if you dump a person who has Tourette's for swearing, have you violated the Americans with Disabilities Act? You might be between a law and another law.
Hold on, Matthew. I got to bring you back here. We'll find out what your answer is, because I couldn't. We're short on time, and I want to make sure you have a chance to explain this. Hopefully, without saying words you can't say on the radio, because if you say one of those words, we're going to have to hit the dump button, and I'll feel bad about it, but I'll have to do it.
I'll call legal and make sure that's okay.
I don't think we have a legal. I think we just have to CYA. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. If you want to jump in, you can comment, whether it's you talking about Tourette's or whether it's communism, socialism, whatever you want to discuss. You can here on the live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we got the Discord call-in lines over at discord.lrn.fm. This is Free Talk Live. More coming up.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your current advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad, and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. No water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. And you can bring up whatever you want. Live Saturday edition with you in the studio. Here it's Ian.
And Nobody from electnobody.com.
Indeed. And you can also go to anarchapulco.com where you can use promo code FTL to get 10% off your tickets to the upcoming Anarchapulco, I believe the 6th annual. It's been a great event that year after year has just gotten bigger and more exciting with more great speakers. You know, if you can attract Ron Paul to your event 3 years in a row, you've got a pretty good event.
Or a pretty good budget.
Well, I mean, if you've got a crap event, maybe Ron Paul wouldn't show up. I mean, I think he's going to want to be somewhere where, you know, he's got a big crowd. And and it's going to be a big crowd. I think there were close to 2,000 people there last year. And the venue itself can hold maybe around 3. So we're close to selling out this place. In fact, they've rented the entire hotel. Again, they did that for the first time last year. They couldn't do it before, but they had enough last year to where they could. So the entire this is a resort. This is a beach resort. This isn't just your typical hotel. It's a very, very beautiful location in Acapulco. And so you're going to be right there in the thick of it with thousands of liberty-minded folks, great speakers. John McAfee's coming this year, Sherry Peel Jackson, Larkin Rose, of course, Jeff Berwick, Benny Wills, Luke Rudkowski. I don't know if you heard about this, but Luke Rudkowski and Jeff Berwick recently got some press for sneaking onto the Jeffrey Epstein Island.
Oh yeah, I watched the video.
I was
very jealous. I was like, oh man, I wish I'd been down there.
Yeah, they've been getting press coverage for that. I saw a New York Post article all about it. So those guys are going to be there too. You can meet them.
Yeah, that's going to blow up. There's a huge there's been a meme storm like I have never seen over the last few days of memes that are just the regular memes, but then they'll just randomly somewhere they'll put in Epstein didn't kill himself.
Ooh, okay.
And that blew up so big that Trevor Noah actually asked Hillary Clinton when she was on his show, how did you kill?
Really?
But now, of course, he did that as a lead into a bit where he was ripping on conspiracy theorists. So it wasn't
so
like
he
wasn't confronting her. He was assisting in the cover up. But yeah, it's a huge deal, and it's huge news. It's going to be huge news in Britain if and when they actually release some of this information that they've got. I think they say there are depending on the account, there are thousands or tens of thousands of names that are going to come out, a lot of whom are prominent people.
I bet.
And so
they'll all deny.
Well, yeah, of course they will. But the thing that happens is once one person comes forward, a lot of times other people come forward. And if there are people who got victims from or got well, at least see it's weird. I the reason I'm hesitating over the word victim is obviously
a lot of these girls were not victims in my opinion.
Well, a lot of these girls were just they were just working. They were sex workers, and they were doing sex workers.
They were sex workers,
and they just have. But then there are other girls who were either, I mean, some of the young is like beyond the pale young that they're talking about, and that to me says it's almost certainly non-consensual.
You think there was some sex slavery going on?
I think there was, and the other thing is, some people react to rape by submission, and so psychologically that can be very powerful, especially if the girl came from an abusive or sexually abusive family. So in a lot of these cases, I think their first interactions with Epstein were rape, but then they later
they justified it somehow and came
well,
back for
yeah,
more?
they justified it in their minds because
like, oh, I got $300 for that rape, so I'll come back and do it again.
Well, it's not just that, but if she's looking at him at a boyfriend figure or a father figure, and in their experience, violent relationships are the norm.
If daddy was abusive.
Exactly. If daddy was abusive to mommy or to them, then maybe they just latch on to a new sick relationship, but don't recognize that it's sick. I mean, there's a whole science to how pimps manipulate women, and especially young women, and it's devious, even where it doesn't violate the NAP.
The non-aggression principle is what you mean there. But well, anyway, I just kind of brought that up as two of the guys who are going to be speaking at Anarchapulco. Both Luke Rudkowski and Jeff Berwick will be there February 13th through the 16th. So it's coming up in just a few months. So go get your tickets now. Start planning to attend, and you are going to have a good time. There's just great speakers. We'll be discussing entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships on the sun and beaches of a world-class resort. It's a beautiful place to go, and I recommend it. Anarchapulco.com. Use promo code FTL. Let's go to Jimmy. The gentleman who was on the line unfortunately dropped off, so let's just talk to Jimmy. He's in, is it Tennessee? Yep, you're in Chattanooga, listening to WGOW.
Hi, boys.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm down here. We've got a big event going on from Illinois. There's several thousand people here.
From Illinois?
Kayaks in. What a heck of an event. Anyway,
what
it's
is it?
all day.
What's the event?
What I'm thinking about is...
Hello?
Everybody's of one persuasion or the other, so to speak, left or right, or, Democrat, Republican, and there's so much division. But I'm thinking there shouldn't be, because you can Google it. Last week, government figures came out that 67%, they lay out all the writing in all the digits in the billions. 67% of federal spending is entitlement spending. Okay, and what I'm thinking is more. That's socialism. That would be socialism, but more socialism on borrowed money. How can anybody not see that puts us in jeopardy? The U.S. dollar, the treasuries that are out there. It's so obvious that level of debt spending is just not going to be sustainable, and it's already got.
Well, they've sustained it through $23 trillion or whatever, $23 billion. What is it? Trillion? What's the debt?
$23 trillion is the national debt, and the answer to your question is modern monetary theory, which is what they call the monetary theory that Bernie Sanders and AOC are pushing. And basically the premise behind this is you can just keep printing money forever.
Also known as the Venezuelan monetary theory.
Exactly. So that's why they don't understand.
It's worked for them for many, many years, right? Like, they can look over at Venezuela and say, well, they just printed too much too fast. We've got it under control here. See, we've got a limit to how much we print. See, it's going fine. What's the problem?
Yeah, and
they've managed to make it this long.
The problem is that you can hold the collapse in abeyance, but you can't prevent it.
You can't hold it forever.
Exactly. You can only postpone it.
Well, a newsletter from an investment fund you would recognize if I mention it. They put out that if the dollar were to drop as much as 3% in value, it'd be a 50-50 likelihood of a run out of U.S. Treasuries, that there's over 100 funds, hedge funds, mutual funds, holding between 100 and 200 billion in Treasuries. And to quote them, they said in that scenario, in 3 days, the dollar would become inconsequential.
When you say 3%, do you mean like dropping one day 3%? Because I'm pretty sure it drops more than 3% in a year.
That depends. The inflation number cooked.
The way they depicted it, 2%, and what's up with that, and then 3%, and what could transpire over 3%?
Well, I tell you what, thank you, Jimmy, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. I suspect the inflation rate is much higher than 3%. Those are the government numbers.
Yeah, the calculations understate it systematically.
Big time, big time. We can continue. And this is Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise at gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. you could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Live Saturday show. You dial toll free. Join us on the radio waves. Our number's 855-450-FREE. We can talk more about socialism. Young people in America, a little too friendly to those ideas. And we'll explain more about this this poll that was done. Axios reporting on a YouGov poll that was, I guess, hired the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation hired YouGov to do the poll. We'll tell you more about it coming up here. It's Ian and Nobody in the studio tonight. And I do want to say thank you to Chris Hickman, who is a Free Talk Live Gold Amplifier. That means Chris is contributing $10 a month. We asked for 5. He's doing 10. So thank you for that, Chris. To the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It helps us get on more radio stations. If you like the fact that we're actually on broadcast radio, we have over 200 stations that are airing the show at some various different times across the week. And that means there are, I don't know, however many hundred of thousand, listeners perhaps over a week that hear the ideas of freedom. Maybe many for the first time because they're just tuning into the radio and they're getting in their car at the airport or something like that, coming in for the first time ever. So if you like the fact that we're able to reach those folks, then please get on over to amp.freetalklive.com. You can sign up with Bitcoin, BTC. You can use credit card. You can use PayPal. Whatever way works best for you. And you get some cool perks like Chris Hickman did. Again, he's supporting us for $10 a month. So thank you, Chris. Over at amp.freetalklive.com. We've actually got Matthew back on the line here. He called earlier tonight and was telling us that he has Tourette's. And the question I asked, I didn't get a clear answer because we just talked a little bit about Tourette's before you were able to answer the question, was, are you the kind of Tourette's who says curse words without intending to? Because if so, this may not go very well for you calling on broadcast radio. I'm asking him that, not you, nobody. Sorry, go ahead, Matthew.
My Tourette's is like, I say words but not curse words. It's just like whatever my brain thinks of. It's like never curse words.
Okay, good. Then we're going to be fine. Go right ahead. What were you calling?
FCC approved Tourette's.
Yes. What what was your call about tonight? Go ahead.
It was how to cope with them because of the bullying and stuff.
Because of bullying. How old are you?
I'm 14.
Okay, so you're in high school. You're beginning in high school, right? You're like a freshman this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that has got to be tough. Going into high school with Tourette's, it's inevitable because just people in school in general are just mean to one another, and if they have an excuse to be mean, then they're even more likely to be mean.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I mean, my solution, because I was a weird kid. I was a geek. I was not well liked in school, and one of the things that I did is I studied martial arts. And if you're, there's something to be said for peace through superior firepower.
Absolutely.
So
meaning that if somebody messes with you and you know how to defend yourself, you put that person down. The word's going to get around. If they didn't see it happen, word's going to get around that you are not somebody to be messed with, and I bet you that would clear up right there. That's not a bad idea, nobody.
And of course, responding to words that way would be wrong. But frequently, if this sort of thing escalates to violence, then the right answer to violence is always to be able to defend yourself as best you can.
Yeah, plus just doing martial arts is going to increase your confidence level, I think, in general, and that can be a major factor in how you're approached by people or what they say to you or how they treat you. If you're carrying yourself, you walking, standing straight up, you're not slumped over, you're making eye contact with people, you're not afraid of the other person. And if you have the martial arts training, you're less likely to be afraid, at the very least, when these people, would come around and do whatever intimidation tactics that they would do. So just having that extra confidence boost, even if they never touch you and you never actually have to use the physical self-defense methods against them, just being able to be confident, I think, will also reduce the amount of general screwing that they will try to do to you.
See, but the thing is that, I get it when they laugh because I laugh at it too. Because it's, funny.
It is funny. I mean, I will say this.
And the other thing is, try to learn to, it is good to be able to laugh at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
take it too seriously.
Yeah, in that, this is who you are, and this is something that I don't think it's curable. So you're going to be able to live with it, but it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're less than other people. It means you've got something unusual going on. But everybody I know is crazy. Just
there was I seen video of
Loco.
There's a girl that streams on Twitch who has Tourette's, and it's almost like an endearing thing about her. She's like, she's kind of cute, and she also has Tourette's, so she seems like it seems to also affect her in that she says things maybe that other people wouldn't, meaning that she's more likely to maybe speak her mind. I don't know if that's something that can happen with that, but
it goes with some of the things on the autism spectrum, and these are just arbitrary labels that we put on things that are all sliding scales, and we try and make them digital. So if if she's very unusual in that respect, it's probably related to something that's going on, I'd say.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just saying it's kind of cute that she has Tourette's. So, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. There are a whole lot of things that could be a lot more damaging to somebody's life. As far as if you got Tourette's, you're better off than a whole lot of other people out there that are crippled in much more significant ways. So try to stay positive. Think positive things. And I think that idea of self-defense is a killer idea. When you're young, there's no better time to get into that, right? Because you've got plenty of time. If you're busy, if you're in your 30s and you decide you want to go to martial arts classes, then you got to carve out time, and it's annoying. You got to go places.
Not just that, but your body doesn't adapt. I mean,
Right.
I wrestled in high school. That was like my first martial art, and studied judo. But and my body learned that much quicker than it did when I studied Salat when I was like 30 and working as a computer programmer.
Right. So, not only are you going to be able to learn faster because you're younger, your body is going to be able to heal faster, any kind of injuries that you might sustain. There's just no better time to do it. So, Matthew, thanks for the call tonight. I really appreciate you considering us as a place to go ask a question like that. So, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So, 855-450-FREE, that's our toll-free number. At the beginning of the show tonight, I brought up this poll about young people in the United States and their views on communism. The Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation is the organization that I guess they hired the polling firm. In this case, it was YouGov. Their director, Marion Smith, said, quote, "This historical amnesia about the dangers of communism and socialism is on full display in this year's report. When we don't educate our youngest generations about the historical truth of 100 million victims murdered at the hands of communist regimes over the past century, we shouldn't be surprised at their willingness to embrace Marxist ideas," unquote. She says here she's spot on, particularly about one fact. It's conservatives, libertarians, and free market advocates of all stripes who share the blame for this disturbing surge in support for socialism. They say we've failed to make the case for capitalism to the next generation, while people such as Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have made massive inroads peddling a falsely rosy socialist vision to Gen Z and millennials.
And the thing is, they've never even tried. I mean, you would think, especially when I grew up, which was I was a Cold War boy. I graduated high school before the Berlin Wall fell, so we were in the thick of it. But they didn't. Not only did they not require that I study economics so I could know how markets work, they didn't even offer the class in high school. Okay, that and this was in a college town, the town of University of Michigan. So they have a whole economics department, and those professors never got together and said, "Oh my God, you have to be teaching these kids economics," because how can you expect people to live in a capitalist system when they've literally never been taught how? Okay, and of course the other thing is, not only have they not been taught how, they've been taught exactly the wrong things to do, because government taught them, well, what you need to do is you need to go to college, all of you. That's crazy talk. It doesn't make sense for everybody to go to a 4-year university.
We continue here in moments. I went to 2 years and it was a waste of time. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever you want. Hour number 2 is next. More on communism and socialism. And we might check in with China and or Venezuela. I got stories about both coming up. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
Do you have a qualified plan, an IRA, 401k, 401(b), or some other type of investment account? Would you like to learn how the ultra-wealthy take their investment accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free? Have your money liquid and invest in literally anything you want to completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS. And no, it's not a Roth. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power. But there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,514, silver at $18.12, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,308. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, actresses Jane Fonda, Rosanna Arquette, and Catherine Keener were among 46 activists arrested Friday afternoon in the Capitol, protesting climate change and advocating a Green New Deal. This is Fonda's fourth arrest in the last month, each at one of her Fire Drill Friday demonstrations. This week was especially focused on how climate change impacts women. Fonda moved to Washington, D.C. last month to participate in activism and intends to be arrested at least once a week until the beginning of 2020, when Grace and Frankie begins filming its next season. Before her arrest, Fonda told reporters, quote, "These climate change emergencies offer us a chance to choose between succumbing to the hatred that our president is spewing and turning on one another, or coming together in shared humanity and supporting each other." End quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Smart Asset, a personal finance technology company, has published a new study that identifies certain U.S. metropolitan areas with the highest student loan balances. The cities are where millennials are struggling to make ends meet and can't cover expenses. Activist Post reports the release of the study comes at a time when student loan debt has reached $1.6 trillion and has already become an important topic with presidential candidates ahead of the 2020 election. Smart Asset analyzed the top 25 metro areas most impacted by the student debt crisis and narrowed the list to 10. According to the study, the top 6 metro areas hit hardest by the student debt crisis are Gainesville, Florida, Corvallis, Oregon, Durham, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Morgantown, West Virginia, Eugene, Oregon, and Greenville, North Carolina. Researchers used data from Experian, the Census, and the IRS to develop the list of where average student loan debt exceeds the median earnings of millennials. McGill University Associate Professor of Psychiatry, Dr. Alan Burnett, embarked on the monumental task of making 60 people forget something and succeeded. The Mind Unleashed reports the 60 study participants shared the unpleasant experience of a traumatic end to a relationship, be it from infidelity or abandonment, that ultimately resulted in an adjustment disorder. To put it simply, the 60 people and others like them just need to forget. According to the National Post, over 4 to 6 sessions, volunteers read aloud from a typed script they had composed themselves, a first-person account of their breakup, with as many emotional details as possible, while under the influence of propranolol, a common and inexpensive blood pressure pill. Full results of the study have been submitted to a journal, according to the National Post. However, the Post also reports that Dr. Burnett has been hesitant to discuss the results due to the sheer speed and success of erasing specific memories. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
For the past several years now, area woman Caitlin Mooney has been convinced that each and every one of her friends should be a professional comedian. Our reporters spoke to Caitlin this morning about her, quote, hilarious group of friends.
Karen is so funny. Like, I can't even explain it. She's always just saying whatever on her mind. She has this totally sassy attitude. You just can't help but laugh. My roommate Rashmi, she always has these hilarious stories that, they're just too much. I'm always telling her that she should just go up on stage and talk. Everyone would love it.
Mooney went on to say that her good friend Lauren is so funny she could, quote, definitely be on Saturday Night Live or The Office, a sentiment she echoed about a number of her other acquaintances, including her childhood friend Marcia, her college roommate Angela, her coworker Julie, and even her sister Jennifer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and we're launching into the second hour of the program. Overarching topic tonight, socialism, communism, and some, maybe to some, surprising numbers about young people in America who are interested in voting for a socialist. Of course, the old rule about being young is you're more likely to fall for that kind of crap, and then, when you get older...
Yeah, they say if you're not a socialist when you're 18, you don't have a heart, and if you're not a capitalist when you're 50, you don't have a brain.
Yep. So we're going to continue on that. Plus, we can talk about some places that are shining examples of socialism, like Venezuela, on the way here tonight. But back to your phone calls and thoughts. If you want to join us, by the way, you can bring up anything you want here on Free Talk Live. Maybe you're new to the show.
And for that matter, it would be really interesting to know what historical numbers were on people in the age range, because this was a survey of millennials
and Gen Z.
So they're studying a particular generation, but they're also studying their attitudes at a particular age, and that age is pretty young. I would not be surprised if a lot of them have been exposed to government a lot more and grow in cynicism as they get older and realize that the government is so rigged that anything they administer isn't going to benefit anybody but the government.
Except for the government, yeah. Political class connected there.
And that just comes with age and getting kicked in the head by the police a few times.
They actually did interview some folks outside of the Gen Z and millennials, so they actually interviewed a wide range, but this report was more about the Gen Z and millennials. But I do have the numbers for Gen X and boomers and the silent generation, so we can get that in a moment. But first, let's go to your calls and thoughts. We got Jeffrey. He's watching on Twitch. Listening in Massachusetts. Jeffrey, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello?
Hi, yes. Hi. I'm a nurse.
Okay.
And I work for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay, great.
And I have a little kid named Alex here. And he says he wanted to meet you guys.
Okay. I don't know if I buy that the story, but go right ahead.
Huh.
So he has leukemia. Stage 3, and it's pretty bad. And
what is leukemia?
He's working really hard and fighting.
Can you just describe for us what leukemia is?
Leukemia affects your blood cells, and it's just...
Called him out. Called him out. Called him out,
Good
Mr.
catch,
Nurse.
Bro. Leukemia is a form of cancer. That's the first answer to that question.
Let's go to James in New Jersey. You're on Free Talk Live. He's watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, James. Hello. You're on the air. This is going to be one of those nights, isn't it? Lovely. All right. Well, thanks for the call, I guess. Maybe not, though. 855-450-FREE. So here's some more from this
Thank you
poll.
very little, I think, is the
thank
answer.
you for nothing. Here's more from the poll, though, by the YouGov, 2,100 U.S. respondents. 64% of Gen Z says they are somewhat or extremely likely to vote for a socialist candidate. 70% of millennials said the same thing. It drops to 44% when you go to Gen X. 36%.
That's me, I think.
36% of the boomers say they have a extremely likelihood of, or somewhat or extreme likelihood to vote for a socialist. And the silent generation, only 33%. So yes, as people are getting older, they are less likely to fall for socialism.
Yeah,
so that's good news.
It would be interesting to look at those numbers. The nice thing about doing a regular poll over a long period of time would be you could look at those numbers and watch each cohort change. Right. And calculate the changes in the cohort. And unfortunately, one-off statistical studies can never give you that because they're not comparable with each other.
Well, I believe they have done multiple studies year after year, but they're not following the same people.
Right.
So there is that.
That's true too.
Washington.
Although statistically, if they classify people the same way and they use a large enough sample, they should be able to track changes in the population without having to track the same individuals.
It says here again, the story from the Washington Examiner says we simply haven't done a good job tying the failures of socialism in the past and the present, such as in the Soviet Union and Venezuela, to the ideas that Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez are pushing now.
Well, they haven't even taught these kids to balance a checkbook. Most schools don't even offer home economics anymore. And when I went to school, home economics, they didn't even teach anything about the economics of running a home, which is what that class is supposed to be. They taught you to bake and sew.
Really?
But it's like, well, home economics is supposed to be how do you balance your checkbook?
Yeah.
How do you pay your taxes? If you're into that sort of thing. How do you live in a society?
Yeah, I went to the so-called gifted school down in Florida, South Florida, where I grew up, and they never had any class like that. I think there might have been an economics class. I didn't take it at that time. But the only thing they ever taught me was how to write a check. Not how to balance your checkbook, but just how to write a check. That's all they taught us.
That's weak.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the life skills.
Yeah. So it says here that there's a very clear overlap, they're saying, between the failures of socialism in the past and what's going on today in Venezuela. Under the so-called Green New Deal, the government would control over half the economy, leading scholars to call it, quote, the single biggest government expansion the United States has seen since the 1930s. As Republican Senator Rand Paul recently put it, quote, what AOC is supporting and what Bernie is supporting is Stalin and Mao and Pol Pot and all these terrible ideas. Now, of course, Bernie would say that he's different, that his would work better than all those old implementations of socialism.
Yeah, and it's not going to work. If you read the Green New Deal, it is filled with absurdity.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
It would be...
It would be a disaster.
The thing is, you can't enforce that.
There was the one about not flying. They could enforce that one if they wanted to.
That one they probably could because they already have control of that industry.
Right.
But, if they suddenly start trying to take control of every industry in America and things are shutting down, you have to boil a frog slowly.
Right.
Or he'll jump out of the pan. And this would be I don't think the public would shift far enough to allow the Green New Deal to happen. I think they would eventually disobey it when it came down to disobey or starve.
I sure hope they would.
Yeah. Well, I definitely would, and we in New Hampshire would be doing that. We'll be fine because we'll just trade with each other.
Right. Secession now can't happen soon enough. And so obviously the Washington Examiner here has a viewpoint. This is more than a news story. This is clearly an opinion piece, and I can't say I disagree with them. I think they're right on this. Now, if you want to comment, maybe you are one of these likely people to vote for socialists or communists or whatever you want to call this. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Tell us why. If you are excited about socialism, what makes you think it's going to be different this time? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because it's always tragic. It's always horrific. It's always destroying people's rights and freedoms, and it never works out.
Yeah, and of course Bernie Sanders will tell you, well, we want what they have in Denmark, not what they have in Venezuela. Well, guess what? The people in Venezuela wanted what they had in Denmark too, but they got what they got in Venezuela.
Well, as you pointed out, the Denmark government has specifically said they are not socialist.
Yeah,
they had an experiment with it, I believe, and then they abandoned it. Did they not?
Well, they had. I don't think they ever had the state owning the means of production, as it were, so they weren't like nationalizing industries.
Venezuela sure as hell did.
Venezuela definitely
did a lot of that.
And the other thing is, in a lot of ways, Denmark's economy is freer than ours in that they have less regulation in a lot of ways, but they do have higher taxes. But regulation is probably more harmful than taxation.
There's no doubt they're both pretty brutal. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Coming up, let's check in with China. What's going on all the way over there? Arguably one of the more successful communist nations. They have an incredibly busy economy over there, and there's a lot of production going on, but that's because it seems like they've kind of let off the controls to some extent. There's more on the way. This is Free Talk Live.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggosuds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggosud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggosuds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com. DINOVITE.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal, all with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back into your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people
who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Yeah, it's Free Talk Live. Toll-free number if you want to join us here. Live Saturday show continuing. The number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. Just join those over at discord.lrn.fm, and you can sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Again, that's discord.lrn.fm. Free Talk Live is brought to you by the Edge wallet. It is my favorite cryptocurrency wallet. It is super easy to use to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold a bunch of different cryptocurrencies, including Ripple, Stellar, Monero, Ethereum, various Ethereum tokens, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and of course the original Bitcoin and many more. Go to edge.app to learn more about the Edge wallet and the technology behind it. It's a great product. I use it all the time. It's my favorite wallet. It's the one I use more than any other, and that's not because they're a sponsor. That was true long before they became a sponsor here on Free Talk Live. It's just great that they're sponsoring Free Talk Live because it was already my favorite wallet. So iOS and Android devices, it's available for both. Get on over to edge.app or just go to your Google or Apple App Store and download Edge Wallet. As we continue, you can bring up anything you want. We've been talking about socialism in the United States and how many young people, Generation Z and the millennials, say that they'd be willing to vote for and or are extremely likely to vote for a socialist candidate. And, of course, the reason is because they really don't know what socialism is. All they know is they want free college, or they want free health care, or, they've been promised these things by these politicians, but they don't really realize what the actual cost of them are.
Right. Well, they don't realize what the actual cost is, and they don't realize that, they don't think about what is unseen.
Mm-hmm.
When you take somebody's money away from them and you use it to pay for somebody to get a degree in, women's studies or lesbian dance theory or whatever, or something useless, what you see is, well, she's going to school. Okay, she's learning something. What you don't see is that money would have gone so that somebody could eat, or that somebody could grow their business and create a job.
Right.
And so,
or start a business. They never were able to.
Or start a business. Yeah.
And that's what you said, the unseen. So there's the seen and the unseen. Yeah. The seen's what's obvious. The unseen is all the opportunities that are missed, all the things that could have happened with the original owner of those funds being able to do what they wanted with them, the things that and maybe they would have made a mistake with it. That's okay. They could have learned from that mistake. At least it would have been their mistake to make. Instead, they have some politician come in with a gang of men with guns, steal the money from them, and then spend it in whatever way the politicians want to. In whatever politically favorable way. Maybe it'll go to, to a college education, or maybe it'll go to the military and blow up innocent lives halfway across the world. It's up to the politicians.
Or maybe they'll just send it to Iran for some reason.
Sure.
You know, it's they a lot of this money that they take, they just give away to other countries. Why? I don't know.
To curry favor with their politicians.
Yeah. Well, I don't want favor with their politicians.
No, they're not going to do you any favors. I don't care what the
politicians of any other country think of the politicians of our country. You know?
I don't care what the politicians in the U.S. think, and certainly don't care what the ones outside of the U.S. think.
Yeah, and so why, I do care about people being poor, but the way to respond to that is to help people. And the way you help them is one at a time and face to face.
Yeah,
it's not, you can't help people out in any meaningful way on an assembly line. That's just not how any of this
Just handing out a
works.
check doesn't make life better.
Exactly.
It might buy them some extra drugs. They may feel a little happier because of that. But in the long run, it won't be a success. Let's go to Mark.
And the thing is, the reason they want the drugs is because of the hopelessness, because of the purposelessness.
Exactly. Let's go to Mark. He's in Connecticut, listening online. Go ahead, Mark. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Nobody.
How you doing, man? It's been a while. Listen, I grew up I live in Stamford, Connecticut now. 55 years old, working blue-collar jobs all my life. And now everybody thinks because I have a house and a little bit of money in the bank that I'm successful because I live in one of the richest counties in the country because I only live, a few minutes from work. That's the reason why I moved here. I used to live in a really blue-collar, mostly Italian and African-American, then came with the immigration in the 80s, Latina, and a town called Portchester, New York. If anybody's listening knows it. Let me tell you something about Cortez. The reason I bring up my hometown. I lived there. If anybody should be a poster child for socialism, it's me, and I'm 180 degrees opposite of that. Her father and mother, or Cortez, they moved from the Bronx up to, I think it was Pound Ridge, or one of the upstate towns in Westchester County, one of the richest counties and one of the richest towns in New York State. What they simply did is they put lipstick on a pig. They got a terrible message, a horrific message, but they put it in front of a girl who looks nice.
Yep.
I even have friends that said, I can't stand what she stands for. Oh, but she looks
she's
good,
pretty.
I said, that's exactly what they did, you idiot. They put lipstick on a pig and they shoved her out there. Her parents, her mother moved to Florida to get away from New York State taxes. Her father was a civil engineer. She grew up in, like I said, the upper Westchester County, and she was put in office by Upper East and West Side liberals that made their millions to push against it. They're gentrifying the neighborhood where she came from. The people that she represents in the Bronx and Queens as a bartender, they're going to be no different 4 years or 2 years later than when she started. She's a piece of dirt, and so is Sanders. And these old white guys, when she beat Crowley in that special election or the election in New York, the old-time Crowley, and I got no love for that liberal douchebag, excuse my French. They're anti everything I stand for. I'm not even going to go into guns and abortion and everything else. They had a sign. Someone was holding a sign that said, "This after she beat Crowley, no country for old white men." If you reverse that sign to any other race or gender, you'd have people in the streets fighting.
Oh, yeah.
The Democrat, any white male that's in the Democrat Party, you understand what these. Bernie is going to be the first one in the gulag or on the guillotine when they take over. And you guys said it just right. The men with guns, they are counting on the IRS, the ability to destroy people through taxation and your paycheck and your livelihood. Even a guy like me, speaking like I am, they're going to use the men with guns, the system that they set up that they stand against, that they hate. They're going to use those people with guns, the IRS, to come after you, to force you to take everything that you have if you've been somewhat successful or just played by the rules and saved your money. What about the people that paid for their kids' college? The number one beneficiaries of people going to free tuition are going to be the doctors and lawyers that want to skirt their student loans. If you were dumb enough to sign for a high interest loan, you ought to pay for it. These people don't understand. I know exactly what socialism is, communism. There are communists, and they want to do it at the barrel of a gun.
That's how it always
take
works.
Everything from us.
But the Republicans aren't any better. I mean, they support their government programs, too. They love the military, and they love the military welfare, which is basically welfare for, a different group of people. The VA system is socialist medicine, just to be clear, and a lot of people in the military hate the VA,
if
but
you
they
want
think they
to know
can fix it.
What single payer would look like, look at the VA.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Mark, thanks for the call. I appreciate the passion tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But, to a lot of the Republicans, they're not bothered at all by a gigantic bureaucracy, an inefficient, garbage bureaucracy, just like the rest of bureaucracy,
Trump
known as the
has
military.
increased the deficit as much as Obama did already.
Has he already? 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click Tips, Tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's me, Ian.
And nobody.
And you can join us online. Just head over to freetalklive.com where you can enjoy the features totally free. We've got archives that go back for more than a decade. So head on over to freetalklive.com. That and we got webcams and a bunch of other features that normally those other talk show hosts want to charge you for. We do it free at freetalklive.com. Something else that's free is accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Dash through AnyPay, which we've got a partnership with here at Free Talk Live to help you take Bitcoin at the point of sale, at your point of sale, maybe in your physical brick and mortar location. Where you work from. Or maybe you are a service provider and you come to your customers. You want to be able to accept cryptocurrency payments from them. Go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. Get started there. Sign up is super, super easy over at helpmetakebitcoin.com. You get rolling there in just a matter of moments. Even if you don't have a cryptocurrency wallet, if you've never done anything with cryptocurrency before, they can walk you through the process, and it is way easier than signing up for credit card acceptance. Like, we're talking 100 times easier. If you've got 20 minutes, you can do this over at helpmetakebitcoin.com. If you've already got a cryptocurrency wallet, 10 minutes, and you're done. So helpmetakebitcoin.com. Get started there. As we continue, we've been talking about socialism as kind of our theme here tonight on Free Talk Live. And, well, some of the horrors of socialism have been on display pretty clear down in Venezuela, for instance, where there's absolutely terrifying things going on. People there are hungry. The society has become quite crime-ridden down there. And recent news out of Venezuela is that hundreds of millions of dollars in cash have been shipped from Russia to Venezuela, according to the story from Bloomberg.com, providing a lifeline to the South American country as U.S. sanctions limit their access to the global financial system. A total of 315 million U.S. dollar and euro notes were sent in 6 separate shipments from Moscow to Caracas from May 2018 to April of 2019.
Well, I'm pleased to see somebody breaking that embargo because there's no reason for it. It doesn't make sense. It's like throwing a junkie in jail. It's like, why bother punishing somebody who's doing a wonderful job of punishing themselves? Mm-hmm. And it just makes things that much harder for the Venezuelan people.
And I don't know if you heard, but there's speaking of other Venezuelan Russian-related news, the Russian government may be buying or taking over operation of Venezuela's state-run oil company. Because they are having a very tough time running the state-run oil company because, well, when you put the government in charge of anything, they screw it up for the most part. Now, you would think it would be hard to screw up selling oil, but they've managed to do it, and so they may actually end up handing over operations to the Russian state oil company.
Well, that's interesting, but is it a state oil company now in Russia? It is a state oil company. Interesting.
Yeah, Russ. I don't have the article in front of me. I tried to pull it up here. I don't know where the hell it is. But yeah, that was one of the headlines in recent days. It's just absolutely terrifying. They've got a water crisis there where it's very hard to even find water that is potable. In Caracas, where there's some very dangerous situations because they're not doing the upkeep that they need to on making sure their water processing system is working properly. In the same way that they didn't keep up the power lines in Venezuela, they didn't keep up with the trimming of the bushes and the hedges and trees and such around the power lines, and it caused a fire. What was it, like a year ago or earlier? I think it was during the wintertime this year. That luckily.
Wow! So they were California before it was cool.
Oh yeah! Oh, absolutely! Yeah. And by the way, the folks in California were dealing with more power outages earlier this week, and it's going to be so common in California that it's not going to be newsworthy after a while. It's just going to be, it's another power outage.
Yep.
How many days is this one going to be? That's really the only question it's going to be. Now, also, Venezuela are apparently trading cigarettes and candy bars for gas as their economic crisis worsens. This is a story from the New York Post. Motorists in socialist Venezuela have long enjoyed the world's cheapest gasoline, with fuel so heavily subsidized that a full tank these days costs a tiny fraction of a U.S. penny. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Even with subsidized gasoline. These guys are in terrifyingly bad shape. Just because you can get your gas for free doesn't mean you can put food on the table in Venezuela.
Yeah.
The economy is in such shambles that drivers are now paying for their gasoline with a little bit of food, a candy bar, or a single cigarette. Bartering at the pump has taken off as hyperinflation has made Venezuela's paper currency, the bolivar, hard to find and renders some denominations all but worthless so that nobody will accept them. Without cash in their wallets, drivers often hand gas station attendants a bag of rice, cooking oil, or whatever is within reach. Orlando Molina, filling up his subcompact Ford Ka in Caracas, said, quote, "You can pay with a cigarette. Heck, it's no secret to anyone that it goes for nothing," unquote. Gas is so dirt cheap that station attendants don't even know the price. Empty-handed drivers get waved through, paying nothing at all. This barter system, while perhaps the envy of cash-strapped drivers outside of the country, is just another symptom of the bedlam in Venezuela. The South American nation of roughly 30 million people is gripped by a deepening political and economic crisis. People live with a nagging feeling that anything from violent street protests to a massive power failure could throw their lives into chaos at any moment. More than 4 million Venezuelans have fled the country in recent years, escaping low wages, broken hospitals, failing basic services, and lack of security. Plus, it's also hard to find food in a lot of cases.
Yeah, they've had some horrific stories. Children starving to death. They broke into the zoo in Caracas and they ate all the animals. I mean, how hungry do you have to be before a rhino starts looking good? I guess you can't even go on the net and find out how to cook that.
Somehow I suspect
You're flying blind.
They probably weren't even the best looking animals. If they're not feeding the people very well, they're probably not feeding the animals real well.
Well,
either.
yeah, they were probably bony animals, but.
The smallest bill in circulation, 50 bolivar, is worth about a quarter of a U.S. penny. City buses and banks won't even accept it, arguing it would take such a thick wad of bills to pay for even the most modest items that it wouldn't be worth the trouble. The largest bill, 50,000 bolivars, equals $2.50 U.S.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if they're using the black market rate on those calculations.
I doubt it.
That's a good question. We'll have to pull up.
Let's find out what the official exchange rate is. I'll bet that's what they quoted.
Yeah, well, if it's the official exchange rate, then the dollar or the dollar today rate is always interesting to go and look at when we're talking about this stuff. Right now, according to they're using the black market rate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right now $1 US on the black market in Venezuela is worth about 21,000 so-called sovereign bolivar. The Bolivar Soberano is what they renamed it.
Wow. When
they hacked 5 zeros off the back end, turning a 500,000 bolivar note into a 5.
Oh, see that I'd forgotten about.
They did that in August.
I was off on those numbers.
2018.
Yeah.
They did that in August of 2018, and we said here on Free Talk Live that they're going to do the same exact thing. They're going to keep inflating. They're going to keep going to town with the hyperinflation. And this is
modern monetary theory in action. This is what AOC and Sanders are advocating.
Yeah, and this is what they all do. This isn't something that's unique to Venezuela. They did this in Zimbabwe, I think, as well.
Yep. Dr. Gano was the name of their of the
not Dr. Guano, but Dr. Gano.
Yeah, GONO. Yeah. And it just put him in charge of the monetary system. It's Gano.
So $1 US is going to get you about 21,000 bolivar today. But a year ago. Just over a year ago, when they first changed the from the Bolivar Fuerte, the strong Bolivar, to the Bolivar Soberano, it was about, I think it was, when we first looked at it, I think it was like 70 Bolivar to the dollar. It's now 21,000 Bolivar to the dollar.
Damn.
855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733. And it gets worse day after day after day. There's more coming up. You can share your thoughts. Latest on Venezuela, China coming up too. Free Talk Live.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNlife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I have treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNlife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Advertising is simple. It starts with someone who has a need.
Mom!
And then gets more specific.
Mom, I want pizza.
Then we add urgency.
I want pizza tonight.
Before you know it, your GCN advertising message is reaching millions of listeners. Listeners who are definitely in need.
We want pizza!
You see, advertising on GCN is simple. Your message meets their need, and the result means new business for you. Tell us about your business. Then let our super creative department go to work to craft just the right message to feed those who have an urgent need.
We want pizza tonight!
GCN has the most affordable national radio advertising rates, period. And millions of people listen to GCN radio programs on over 1,000 AM and FM and XM stations and streaming audio live. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just shoot us an email, advertise@gcnlive.com.
Free Talk Live.
You guys catch my State of the Union address the other night?
That was very nice.
Hey, this is George Bush?
I'm afraid so, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's fantastic to have you listening to the show.
I wanted to run some new ideas I had past you guys.
Okay, cool. We'll be your sounding board there, Prez.
Ice cream day.
I love ice cream day. It's awesome. We should have ice cream month and different flavors, just like Baskin Robbins.
Every Friday, Americans get free ice cream.
Now, I don't know
where?
about that. Now, wait a minute.
From where, George? Ice Cream Angel's going to bring it down?
Yeah.
What about this one, guys? Everybody gets a pony in America.
It's very Texan. Presidents have a habit of just getting up and saying what sounds good, and then you don't do anything about it. I mean, really, you're not going to do anything. We all know that.
Well, most presidents don't do some of the things they promise. I promise not to do all of those things.
Awesome.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition of the program. We're talking about the successes of socialism, like Venezuela.
Well, there are things that socialism just delivers reliably.
Poverty,
corpses,
failure,
death,
destruction.
What were the four horsemen?
Oh God, I don't know. You're gonna have to look that one up.
Famine, pestilence, war, and death.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's socialism.
Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's where you can reach us here. You can bring up what you want. I do want to say thanks to Rafi, who is a gold amplifier. Rafi contributes $10 a month to the Free Talk Live AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. One of the perks you get as an amplifier is access to the supporters chat rooms on our Discord server. You can go to discord.lrn.fm. And that is where you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners. And if you are an amplifier, you get special access. So if you sign up for AMP and you want to get that, just send me an email and let me know. Or send me a message, a private message on the Discord server. Go to amp.freetalklive.com like Rafi has done. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to the phones. We can talk more about Venezuela. But first, Dave is on the line in New York. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Nobody.
Hey, how you doing?
Dave,
you guys really need to change your talent relations.
Huh?
You guys need to change your talent relations. You guys need to have more women on the show instead of you or Mark or the big oaf wearing the pajamas and he's vaping, which is I quit vaping back in the springtime, whatever.
Oh,
but
so you're better than Nobody. Is that what you're saying? Because you quit vaping and he hasn't yet?
Nobody's worse than you.
I quit vaping because it was, I quit vaping. Anyway, point being is that you guys need to have more women on the show.
I don't disagree.
Well, if you find us any voluntarist women out there in New York, you tell them to come on by Keene, New Hampshire. We've got a spot for them.
We'll make room.
We'll make room. We'll get them into the rotation, bro. Because I would rather be looking at a pretty girl than Ian right now.
I don't take
myself.
it personally. I'm with you as well. Nobody. I'd replace you in a heartbeat with a pretty girl. There's
yes,
no
it's
doubt
true.
About it. Or I'd put you in the third chair. We'd put her on the cams.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Put her on the cams. They can look at her boobs and. I'll tell the truth.
No, because I have questions for women, but you guys never had any on the show.
Well, we have some experience with women, Dave, unlike you who hasn't had a girlfriend in however many years it's been. Both Nobody and I have lived with women for some number of years, so perhaps you would like to ask your question anyway. And here's the other cool thing about radio is there are women listening. So if you have a question for women, Dave, you can just go ahead and ask your question on the air, and then they can call in and answer the question for you. So what is it that you want to know about women?
You guys say you have experience with women. Oh, okay. Because you guys never have any women like on the air like.
Well, that's not true.
Show,
that's not true. I've had I've had two live-in girlfriends within the last 15 years or 13 years of my life for a few years apiece, and they have both been on as co-hosts of this radio program. We've had other women who are not my girlfriends who've been on this show as well. I mean, I can think of several of them. We've had Michelle Seven, we've had Allie Havens, we've had Ellen, we've had Melanie. There have been multiple. There's Lauren, who was an attorney that was on in recent months. So when we get the chance, we do put women on the air. It's just that the libertarian movement isn't the most, I would say, attractive to women for whatever reason. Sadly, but it's the truth.
Because I have questions for women, but
Okay, what's the damn question?
I can't ask them.
Yes,
because
you
guys
can.
Never have any women on the show.
Can you understand what I told you about
I'll
them
identify
listening?
as female for a minute. Lay it out.
They need to be on the show so that I can ask them directly.
No, you can ask right now, and we're going to open it up to the phone calls if women want to answer your question, if it's not too weird or creepy or whatever.
Did you seriously call two men to tell them that you had a question, but you weren't going to answer it, but you weren't going to ask it because they weren't women?
That's what he did.
That's really weird.
Dave, just ask the question. There are probably women listening, many of whom may want to help you understand them better. So
I'm sure many of them want you to get help.
So just ask the question. If you don't ask the question, we're just going to have to let you go. But I want to hear what you have to ask. I'm curious.
We're not going to, turn our junk inside out.
No, we're on camera. We can't do that.
We're going to stay what we are.
Is it okay to comment on women's fingernails when you're looking at them, if you're going through the grocery store or if they're at like a store or maybe one of your friends or like, oh, hey, I like your pretty nail polish or whatever,
Yes, that's that. I will say that's an appropriate thing to say. Complimenting a woman is generally accepted. Am I right about this? Nobody?
Yeah, I would say it's generally accepted. There are some things you want to be careful about, like you don't want to compliment them on anything that's sexually suggestive.
Yeah.
Because that, if you say, and that can be widely interpreted, like if you say nice pants, she may well hear nice butt. So you might just want to avoid that.
The fingernails are pretty safe.
But
that's pretty
fingernails are safe.
I like that color, or I like, sometimes they got little designs that they've done on them, or whatever, and they've spent time on it, so it means something to them. I would say that's a pretty safe thing to do, and I doubt that there's going to be women who call in to say differently, but they're welcome to. Our number here is 855-450-FREE.
Because there is this show on YouTube Monday nights. It's on YouTube on the Monday Night Crap Post. It starts with an S, but I'll say Crap Post.
Okay,
because,
thank you for
blah,
that.
blah, blah. This woman, I can't remember what her name was, but she's a friend of what's the guy's name? I can't remember what his Max Sand. Yeah, she's a friend of Max Sand, and this girl, whatever, they're all friends, whatever, and she thinks it's creepy that I keep on asking her what color nail polish does she wear.
Okay, that is weird. That's not the same thing as complimenting a woman. If you're in person and you see that they've got very nice looking nails and you want to say something, that's a compliment. Asking people who they can't see you, you're disconnected from them, they're across the internet from you somewhere, asking them about what color nail polish they're wearing or what color their panties are or whatever. It's sort of in that same range of maybe too invasive.
Well, okay, there's a little bit of range between fingernails and panties, but yeah, either one there's probably some creep factor in that question.
Yeah, and plus you also come off as a little bit creepy just generally, so it may have to do with who you are. Do they already know who you are? Have you called the show previously?
Yeah, they already know who I am.
Then they know everything. So then they know about you. They know that you're kind of a strange bird, and so that makes it a little bit more creepy when that happens.
Yeah, but they know who I am, but they haven't met me in person, but they know who I am. But
that's okay. They probably don't want to.
Whatever, because she thinks a little bit weird that I keep on asking her what color nail polish does she wear.
Well, the other thing is when you keep coming back to something like that, it's like, okay, does this guy have a fetish? Does this guy have something wrong with it? Is he considering what color of nail polish he's going to put on my corpse? So, that's the first question that bothers people.
Right. If I heard that question, the first thing I'd want to know is, why do you care? Why do you want to know?
And if I repeatedly heard that question, my curiosity about why you wanted to know would definitely grow.
And also, aren't these people on a YouTube? Didn't you say you watch them on YouTube? So shouldn't you be able to discern if they show their hands what their color of their nail polish is?
I watch because on Monday nights it's Monday Night Raw. And I kind of watch both. Like it's not really they don't really have a call-in show. It's more like a YouTube chat. I don't know if they have the Discord or whatever, but I just want to know.
And also, why don't you call in on Discord, Dave? How come you're not calling on Discord? I've seen you pop in there on occasion.
Because I don't use it.
Well, you should. I'm surprised you don't. You like chat apps, don't you?
I don't. Come 2020, I am getting rid of social media.
Really? Why wait? Why not just go ahead and do it now?
Because I'm doing it on New Year's Eve day, whatever. Getting rid of Facebook, Snapchat, Zillow, whatever, blah blah blah. But
what are you going to do with all your time?
I don't know.
Get a job.
Anyway,
try that one.
There's this girl who was a friend of Max Sand, and her name's like Maxine or something or whatever. But she thinks it's creepy that I keep on asking her, what color nail polish are you wearing?
Yes, if you keep asking, that's definitely creepy. Thank you for the call tonight, Dave. If you ask a question and a girl doesn't want to answer you, that's the end of it. If you then ask the question more, now you're obsessed.
Yeah, that's definitely got a creep factor to it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. Got time for
Thank you for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Hopefully, like I said, if the ladies want to call with advice for Dave, I'd be happy to hear. We'll take your calls. I think we've probably answered the question appropriately. But feel free to add in if you got something else to say to Dave. Maybe he will listen, or maybe it'll benefit the other people who are listening. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. There's certainly not a real firm rule book when it comes to women, but asking the same question over and over again when you've been rebuffed once, that's a bad sign. That's the sign of scary. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
This is not rehearsed. I'm just some person that listened to the commercial and said, you know what? Fruits and vegetables, how can I go wrong? At one point, I was going to stop taking it. And then I got a message saying that even if you stop taking it, you still have your coat for 2 months. And that's when I really realized you people aren't looking for money. You really care about the human being and helping people. So to me, that is the most important thing.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,514, silver at $18.12, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,308. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, actresses Jane Fonda, Rosanna Arquette, and Catherine Keener were among 46 activists arrested Friday afternoon in the Capitol, protesting climate change and advocating a Green New Deal. This is Fonda's fourth arrest in the last month, each at one of her Fire Drill Friday demonstrations. This week was especially focused on how climate change impacts women. Fonda moved to Washington, D.C. last month to participate in activism and intends to be arrested at least once a week until the beginning of 2020, when Grace and Frankie begins filming its next season. Before her arrest, Fonda told reporters, quote, "These climate change emergencies offer us a chance to choose between succumbing to the hatred that our president is spewing and turning on one another, or coming together in shared humanity and supporting each other." End quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Smart Asset, a personal finance technology company, has published a new study that identifies certain U.S. metropolitan areas with the highest student loan balances. The cities are where millennials are struggling to make ends meet and can't cover expenses. Activist Post reports the release of the study comes at a time when student loan debt has reached $1.6 trillion and has already become an important topic with presidential candidates ahead of the 2020 election. Smart Asset analyzed the top 25 metro areas most impacted by the student debt crisis and narrowed the list to 10. According to the study, the top 6 metro areas hit hardest by the student debt crisis are Gainesville, Florida, Corvallis, Oregon, Durham, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Morgantown, West Virginia, Eugene, Oregon, and Greenville, North Carolina. Researchers used data from Experian, the Census, and the IRS to develop the list of where average student loan debt exceeds the median earnings of millennials. McGill University Associate Professor of Psychiatry, Dr. Alan Burnett, embarked on the monumental task of making 60 people forget something and succeeded. The Mind Unleashed reports the 60 study participants shared the unpleasant experience of a traumatic end to a relationship, be it from infidelity or abandonment, that ultimately resulted in an adjustment disorder. To put it simply, the 60 people and others like them just need to forget. According to the National Post, over 4 to 6 sessions, volunteers read aloud from a typed script they had composed themselves, a first-person account of their breakup, with as many emotional details as possible, while under the influence of propranolol, a common and inexpensive blood pressure pill. Full results of the study have been submitted to a journal, according to the National Post. However, the Post also reports that Dr. Burnett has been hesitant to discuss the results due to the sheer speed and success of erasing specific memories. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. An area man doesn't know what to do with all the extra ketchup packets. This is Doyle Redland reporting. After finishing his Big Bacon Classic combo, Erie, Pennsylvania resident and Wendy's patron Don Turnby, 38, expressed uncertainty today regarding what to do with all the extra ketchup packets. Turnby had asked for extra ketchup upon placing his order for a ketchup-necessitating Biggie fries.
Well, I knew it was too many ketchups because I usually only need 3 or 4 for my Biggie fries, but I just took them anyway.
At his nearby home, the Turnby pantry is crammed with hundreds of other restaurant condiments, including single-serving packets of Taco Bell mild sauce, Arby's horsey sauce, soy sauce, McDonald's Chicken McNuggets hot mustard sauce, pats of shed spread country crock from Ponderosa Steakhouse, and a selection of Smucker's jellies and jams from several area diners. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of this live Saturday edition of the program. Our toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm. That's actually where we're going to here in just a moment. If you're just now tuning in, the last call of the previous hour was Dave in New York calling for some womanly advice. And I understand, Dave, he wants to hear more female voices behind a microphone here on Free Talk Live. That's one of the few things that Dave and I agree on. I would love to have that happen. We just need more liberty-oriented ladies. Heck, I'd be all right if we had like a socialist lady come in here. We could argue with her or something like that. That'd be fun.
Sure.
But yeah, more liberty ladies need to make the move to New Hampshire, and then if you're in the Keene area, we're probably going to put you on the air as long as you're not afraid of a microphone. So it's Ian and Nobody in the studio here tonight. We're going to go back to your calls and thoughts, but first let's go to the phones where Lane is on the line listening to KTFS in, I believe, Texarkana. Lane, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Man, y'all have got about the weirdest show that I've ever heard.
Hey, just real quick, are you talking right into your phone? Because it sounds like...
I am.
Okay, are you on like a headset?
I'm out in rural Arkansas. I'm on a family farm, so it may sound like crap.
Okay, we got you turned up now. It sounds better. Go ahead.
Okay. Y'all got about the weirdest show that I've ever heard, but hey, you're libertarian, so I've got a friends like you guys, and you guys are different. But anyway, I wanted to go to the Venezuela deal.
Yeah.
You said $300 million that the Russians were bringing in to Venezuela.
300 million in both euro and dollar. So yes.
Right. Okay. So do you not think that is to go? I can't say the name of the two guys that are opposing each other down there, but don't you think that the Russians are trying to prop up the guy that lost the election, and that's the $300 billion of euros and American dollars that he's going to feed his forces with?
Yeah. That's absolutely what the Russians are doing. The Russians definitely want Nicolas Maduro to stay in power because he is their tool. And they do not want Juan Guaido, who is the challenger to Maduro. Maduro is the current president. He's the guy who took over after Hugo Chavez and continued to run the country into the ground. Guaido is the challenger. He's backed by the United States, so likely he's on the take from the CIA or whatever. And so obviously the Russian government doesn't want him in there.
Yeah,
and,
most of these Go ahead.
But no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was saying most of these conflicts seem to be CIA versus KGB or whatever they call their intelligence service now, and Mossad just fighting proxy wars.
I understand. I just y'all glossed over the fact that maybe this money was to keep the fat cats happy, that has an illegitimate election and they're still in power. I just wanted to throw it out that these guys are still in power because somebody is propping them up. And, if we was to move on to the CIA guy, maybe it got better, maybe not, who knows?
Guaido, I think, he's just maybe arguably the lesser of two evils. I mean, if anything, he's a socialist too. So I don't know how much would really change if he were to be able to take control of the country.
Well, I've never heard any history on the guy. That nobody on radio will tell me any history on that guy. And so
when he first showed up,
believe him or not.
Yeah, when he you can't believe him; he's a politician. But when he first showed up on the sort of the international news scene, they were saying that he did have some experience in Venezuela as an organizer. He had been, their equivalent of an MP or a representative or whatever. He's been around. I mean, he's not like he didn't come out of nowhere.
But the first guy is supposedly a bus driver that Cuba wanted, right?
You're talking about Nicolas Maduro. Yes, he was a bus driver in the past. That was one of his careers. He was Hugo Chavez's right-hand man when Chavez was the president down there. So a lot of times they're going to bring somebody like a bus driver into a political party so they can make them look like, see, he's a common man. He's one of you. Yes. He was a bus driver. You can trust him.
Puppet.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, hey, guys, I want y'all to have a good show. Y'all are doing really well.
Well, Lane,
so
it's better now because you joined the show. Thank you for the call tonight.
I wanted to talk about nail polish, though.
Okay, go.
On the toenail polish.
Yeah.
See you guys. Love you. Thank you.
Oh, I thought you actually wanted to talk. Oh, that was what he had to say, toenail polish. No, you didn't want to talk about that. There. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
Peace, bro.
Yes. All right. Hey, let's go to Vagina Terry, and she is on the line on our Discord server. Dave had asked for a woman's perspective on his question, which he'd asked earlier. This was our final caller in the second hour. Dave in New York had asked about complimenting a woman on her nail polish, which I had said that's generally an acceptable thing to do. You see a woman in public and you want to say something nice, you can say something about her nail polish. There's nothing wrong with that.
But the creepy thing, and this is why Dave comes off as creepy. He said, if you're walking past a woman in the supermarket, is it okay to compliment her nail polish? And it's like, yeah, I mean, if something stands out about something, sure.
Yeah.
About somebody, and you're in their physical presence, sure, comment on it.
Right.
I mean, unless it's like a big zit. But then it turns out that that's not even the situation he wanted advice about. He wanted advice about calling into a YouTube show.
Well, right. So the first part was just asking or saying something about a woman's nail polish in public. In person, And then it became, oh, well, Dave was calling this show on YouTube, and he was asking them, or the host of the show. Actually, he said the show doesn't take call-ins, so he must have been asking her off the air. He must have been like sending her messages or something off the air, the host of this other show that he was talking about. And then he was asking, is it okay to continually ask someone what color nail polish they have?
Yeah, and then it became a repeated question. But let's see what
Vaginitarian has some thoughts. Go ahead. Calling from Virginia.
I most definitely have some thoughts. It's never okay to repeatedly ask a woman any kind of question like that. And I know that Dave in the past has asked a lot more personal questions than nail polish.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing he's switched from how a woman shaves to what color nail polish she's wearing.
Right, yeah. One of the previous questions he'd called about was whether or not it's okay to ask if a woman what color it is down there, or if she shaves down there.
So in general, Dave doesn't know what to do with women is the absolute truth.
Yeah. I didn't know about that. So he's in a bad way.
Yes, he is very bad when it comes to these things. Now, Vaginitarian, were we right, though? It's okay to compliment a woman on her nail polish in person, right? Like if you're standing at the cash register at a grocery store or whatever, and you notice that a lady's got a particularly nice nail job and you want to say something, totally fine in that circumstance, right?
Yeah, most definitely. And I was just joking with Taco Nick at how 99% of men are never even going to notice what color a woman's nails are,
Definitely
if they have a design or anything. So if a man actually happens to do it while you're out and about and it's in a polite way and it's not 100 times of a question, it's a very nice compliment.
Right, like, oh, hey, I really like your nail polish. That's a cool design, or whatever.
It's only creepy when you do it on YouTube over and over and over again.
Very good. So basically, you're backing us up on our answer, and I appreciate that, Vaginitarian. Was there anything else you wanted to say to Dave or anybody in his circumstance?
No, I just wanted to say that the ladies agree with you. It's a fine compliment one-off, but don't go repeating it over and over again.
Thank you, Vaginitarian, for the call tonight. Appreciate the expertise. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Of course, you can bring up whatever it is you want, whether it's talking about the disaster of Venezuela, where Maduro is still under challenge from opposition politician Juan Guaido, according to the New York Post. And gasoline prices are, they say, a deadly serious matter in Venezuela. Roughly 300 people died back in 1989 during riots that erupted after the country's president at the time ordered a modest rise in fuel prices. We can continue with more. They were talking about how in order to buy gasoline in Venezuela, many people are trading cigarettes and snack chips, cooking oil, giving these things to the gas station attendants in return for full tanks.
Anything but that worthless currency.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Do you want to join the ultra-wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that is no longer exclusive? Keep your funds fluid and 100% tax-free for you or your heirs with no contribution limits and without ever losing your principal with Fortune DNA. Learn how to avoid the volatility of the market and put certainty back into your investing future. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
My blood work with my doctor is the best it's ever been. All my numbers. And this is the only supplement I take now. Whatever I'm doing, he said, keep it up.
We're landlords, and I have about 3 people moving in, and it's been very strenuous, but I have the energy to do it, thanks to, balance of nature.
My blood work has been getting better and better every 6 months, and I have no explanation for it other than I'm taking a balance of nature. All the numbers are always changing for the better, every blood test.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free and bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. That's where we're going to go to here in just a moment, where you can bring up what you want. And with you in the studio tonight, by the way, you've got Ian.
And nobody.
Plus, I want to make sure you know about Liberty.menu. If you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and you agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you qualify to use Liberty.menu. It is at its core a site that allows the Liberty community to promote the things that they do. So if you've got a business, if you've got an event that you're involved in creating and promoting, maybe a digital content of some sort that you create and that you want to get out there, get on over to Liberty.menu, put yourself up on the map of options and locations. It's very, very handy, and it's free. So unless you don't want free publicity for your freedom-friendly business, then get on over to Liberty.menu. And you can use code FTL on your profile and get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. Again, it's free to use. Liberty.menu as we go to your calls and thoughts. Let's start with Blood. He's calling from the UK, where it is like 1 in the morning. Blood, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Wait, can you hear me loud and clear?
Very loud. Go ahead. You sound fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you today about Brexit, and I just want to prove all the people who voted for Brexit. I just want to name some points. Do you want to know what Brexit is?
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to ask you. Can you explain?
I know what Brexit is, but which side of it are you on?
Well, hold on. Before you tell us what side you're on, some of our listeners may not know what Brexit is. So if you want to go ahead and give us an explanation, I realize it's been a 3-year-long process now, and it's ridiculously overcomplicated by the government. But what is Brexit?
So it's basically where UK leave the EU, and where I don't know, I haven't read about the trading system, but I think I heard something about we can only trade, like trades are really restricted. So we will trade, we'll obviously do shipping from America and stuff like that. But it's just that I really, really, really disagree with it. Because,
okay, so you're against leaving the EU.
Yeah, but it's
now you
already
sound a
been
little on the
decided,
young
so-
side. Were you able to vote on this, or were you too young?
No, it wasn't obviously, man.
It was a close vote, wasn't it? Wasn't it like 52 or 51% in favor of it?
Was.
So, okay, what is it that you feel like is a good thing about staying with the European Union?
I think I don't really know. I've just got the really bad side of it.
Well, what's
That's
okay?
the-
So, what's the
I've got
bad
points
side?
written
What's why
down.
don't you want to leave?
So the UK, let me give you in a summary because I wrote this down. The UK has no plan for Brexit. Okay.
There's no plan.
So yeah.
I
So
thought this whole
George-
thing was now look, I'm only here in the United States, right? I only hear occasional things about Brexit. I thought this whole 3 years was about figuring out the plan of how to leave the EU.
Yeah, but they actually did in the end. In the outcome of it, they actually had no plan. Literally. You know, I know. After 3 years, I know that sounds quite like I'm saying, what's it called? I'm saying absolute lies. But basically, can I give you the summary?
Sure. Yeah,
the
please.
rundown. Okay, so George Bridges was a new Prime Minister in the Brexit department created from scratch in 2016 when Theresa May became Prime Minister. A job she only got because the UK voted to leave the EU. So, Lord Bridges, who was George Bridges, or because you know in Parliament we have our own roles and stuff like that. So Lord Bridges, who was the junior minister, assumed that thinking about Brexit must be taking place somewhere else. So he said this. He said, "I was very much under the view that there would be somehow in Number 10 a very small, very secret group putting together an almighty chart, a big plan of how we were going to negotiate and crucially what our overall objectives were. So the Prime Minister, rather like a Bond villain, would be sitting with a white cat on her lap, which is the big hand behind her. I love to say that the room existed, but I never found it. He wasn't the only one in Brussels. Top EU officials were waiting to see what the UK would propose. And this is what another saying. We thought that they are so brilliant. There will be in some vault somewhere in Westminster, a Harry Potter type book with all tricks and all the things in it to do."
So what you're saying is that they have been dragging their feet this whole time, and there's still no real plan on what they need to do?
Yeah, literally. Yeah,
well, here's what they should do: is just leave the EU and figure it out after the fact.
Yeah, no deals, Mr. Bond. You don't need a deal.
Yeah.
Just get out from under their regulation, and then the reality is whatever it is they say up front, they benefit from trading with you, and you benefit from trading with them.
That's right.
And, you know, and it would be foolish for either side to cut off trade. And hopefully they will not be foolish. But if they are foolish, there's a whole world that you can trade with.
Right. Yeah, unless the EU is going to put a physical blockade between the UK...
Which is not going to happen. It's militarily impossible.
Yeah, so the UK can always trade with the rest of the planet from North America to South America, elsewhere. Ultimately, the European Union is closer, so therefore it's convenient to trade with them. And it is in the best interests of both sides to have, relatively open and free trade. But, of course, politicians love to get in the way of the people's best interest and instead put their own interests in the place, meaning the interests of the politicians and their buddies in promoting their, helping their friends and punishing their enemies. And it's unfortunate that the people of the UK have been caught up in all of this political nonsense with this,
And they've been working really hard. I mean, the establishment wants the EU, and they really want the EU, and they've been working really hard to scare people about it. Is my impression, because they want a North American union, they want a European union, and then they want a world government to rule those.
Yeah, I got to say, I support the idea of Brexit. I don't support the stupid political wrangling that's been going on for the last 3 years over it, but that's what you should have expected when it comes to governments. They take forever to do anything, and it's always going to be a disappointment in however it is they end up hashing all this out. So I want to say thank you, Blood, for the call tonight. I really appreciate hearing from you, and please feel free to keep us up to date as this thing continues. I don't think we've had a pro-Brexit caller on Free Talk Live.
Well, she's anti-Brexit.
Huh?
I thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant
she's a Remainer.
I think it's a he, but you could be right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know either. I didn't get Blood's name. So I don't think we've had an anti-Brexiter. So you may be the very first person who's called in from that perspective. So we'd be happy to hear from you again on that in the future. It always makes me feel good when we actually have a young person call who doesn't want to say the F word on the radio. So thank you for that too. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Blood.
Restoring our faith in the. What are they called again? Millennials.
That might have been a Gen Z. Sounded
really?
pretty young. Sounded pretty young. Said he couldn't vote 3 years ago. So
okay.
He or she may not even be, 18 or maybe just turned 18.
Gotcha.
So I think that's Gen Z, because I think Gen Z's like maximum age right now is like 20 or so. Something like that. 18, 19, 20. All right, more coming up here. 855, 450 free if you want to join us on the radio.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want here. We're on the live Saturday edition. We do this thing live every single night of the week, so you can always join us if it's between 7 and 10 o'clock at night. Pretty much a guarantee that we're going to be here doing this show, and you're welcome to join us there. Join us online anytime over at freetalklive.com, where you can download archives, you can watch us on the webcam, you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners in our Discord server. Just go to freetalklive.com to connect to all of those things. And good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great, but eating right all the time can be a challenge. Travel and work can get in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or time to shop and cook the right foods. Well, Balance of Nature can help. With just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules, you'll get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. For a limited time, you can go and become a preferred customer with code FTL at balanceofnature.com, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. Plus, after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. Go to balanceofnature.com. Use code FTL, like Free Talk Live, at balanceofnature.com. We go and continue with your phone calls and thoughts. Elizabeth is on the line in Virginia listening to WLNI FM. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I was listening to you guys talking about the situation in Venezuela and the socialism and the effects it has on society. But, and I'm a Republican. I'm a libertarian Republican.
Okay.
Definitely more Republican. So I'm not saying this from a liberal Democrat standpoint at all. But I live as a third world refugee in a first world country. I'm disabled. I live with my daughter, who's also disabled, in a trailer. We're in a Cracker Barrel parking lot because of their graciousness to us.
Wow.
We had no heat or water. And I've got a bachelor's degree. I'm an educated person. But the way our society is set up, there is no opportunities to get up and on your feet once you've been homeless or ill and homeless. People think you are lumped together with mentally ill drug addicts and, other degenerates, criminals, etc. Not the case. But, like, for example, the free market, right? You have landlords. I have a Section 8 voucher. I even had 2 Section 8 vouchers at one time.
This is not the free market.
And,
this is not the free market.
I'm sorry?
You said free
No,
market.
it's
This
not.
is not a free market in the United States. It's a highly regulated, controlled marketplace. But anyway, go ahead with what you were saying. And Section 8 is welfare. So that's also not the free market.
No. Section 8 is a housing choice voucher where the taxpayers pay a portion through housing authorities of your rent, and you pay a third of your income. So,
That's welfare program.
I guess you would call it that, but it's, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's forced wealth redistribution. Go ahead.
Disabled. I'm sorry, what?
It's forced wealth redistribution. Please, go ahead with what you're going to say.
Well, but for some people it's necessary, unless you want to see cities like Los Angeles. With people
Well,
living
it's
on the
never
street.
necessary to use violence against your
See,
neighbor.
Los Angeles, interestingly
I'm
enough,
talking
if
about
you look
people
at California, they've got the most generous welfare state, and they're the worst state in the nation for poverty. So that hasn't helped them, and it never will, because the thing about welfare programs is they don't produce anything. So basically, yes, they enable people to consume, but they don't increase production.
That's true. And some people, like disabled persons, can't produce. And that's got something that I think we've lost sight of. And I'm not a socialist. Please hear me. I'm not a socialist. But there are aspects of socialism that benefit the poor. And in this country, if you're poor, you might as well be at a concert and have people trample you to death, because that is what our society does to the poor. There is no, and Republicans are guilty too, because there's no comprehensive plan. I've written a list of ideas.
How do you think the poor are doing in Venezuela? I mean, if you think socialism benefits the poor, how do you think what do you think life is like for them?
No. No, I did not say socialism benefits the poor. I said there are certain aspects. For example, for myself, having finally obtained disability and medical insurance through Medicare, I was able to be stable enough to stay at a job for 4 years. And that's the longest I've ever worked. Now, in doing that, I've realized something. I'm 54 years old, and I've realized something. I am not a person who's meant to work at a job. I am meant to be self-employed. I don't have the temperament or the ability to go to work and sit in an office in a 9 to 5. If I had my own business, I'd probably work 100 hours a week. But I don't have that opportunity right now, living where I'm living.
Now, what would you like to do? I mean, if you wanted to start your own business, what would be something you'd want to do?
Actually, I want to be an attorney right now. I've seen the dark side of landlords and how they treat people. And we're talking not just low-income families. We're talking moderate, rents of $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a month, where landlords force people to live with mold, mice, other kinds of vermin. Apartments that are non-smoking are a joke. I have asthma, and non-smoking apartments are a complete joke. People smoke pot, they smoke cigarettes, and if you have asthma, you're going to have to move, and you're going to have to move again and again. And landlords, when you bug them about, hey, you got to fix this, their thing is, you can leave, or they retaliate by raising the rent. And housing instability is huge in this country. And the voucher hasn't really helped. That's why we bought an RV, because it's not really, it's mediocre housing, mediocre to poor housing, landlords who won't fix things like they should, and you're fighting a uphill battle where the housing authority is going to refuse to let you rent a house because, a light bulb's broken or something stupid. And so there's so much waste. I just chewed out the housing authority that I'm dealing with right now because they want a ridiculous busy work, paper trail for some things, but they don't want to do their job.
Okay, just to be clear, the housing authority is who?
The housing authority is a subcontractor of HUD, and what they do is they manage housing choice vouchers for a certain number of people. Like
is this a federal program?
So socialized housing?
Yeah.
So you're describing the problems of socialized housing. This is government run. This is all government run.
Yes, and there are some people in the United States who cannot afford housing, and that's a reality.
Why do you think that is?
Poor and disabled, well, mainly because of disability. The other reason is there's a lot of hidden disabilities. Like, this is where the socialist thing kind of comes into play a little bit with medical insurance.
So hold on, you're saying that you think people can't afford housing because they're disabled?
Absolutely. When you can't work, how are you supposed to pay your rent? I mean, rents are outrageously expensive. And if you can work, but you can only work a minimum wage or menial job, where I live is a cheap town, okay? And rents are $800-900 a month.
Mm-hmm. And that's high,
where
right?
I live is $7. I'm sorry?
$800 a month is high, correct?
It is high if you're living on $8-9 an hour. Absolutely.
Sure. Well, one of the reasons why prices of houses are high is because of government. Government has come in and they've made building a house more expensive than it has to be through all their government regulations, through all their government taxes and licenses and rules and hoop jumping.
Then you have to pay the property tax because renters do pay property tax.
They
That's
sure
not
do.
Paid by the landlord.
The renters pay every penny of that property tax.
Yeah, because otherwise the landlord would just sell the place.
Correct. Or they'd be losing money and they'd be insane, to do that. So you've got all the regulations that make cost of housing, more expensive than they have to be. And that also includes cities like Seattle and other places, not just Seattle, it's not just big cities, it's small towns and others that have ridiculous rules on where you can build and how you can build and what you can build. And all these rules combine together to restrict artificially the amount of housing that can be built. So therefore, the housing market cannot expand at a natural pace with the demand in the marketplace. So there's not enough housing to host the people that need houses. So therefore, the prices go up. You got all kinds of problems. They start with the government. I'm sorry, Elizabeth, but the government isn't going to solve it for you. There's more coming up.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. Enough time for you. If you join us right now, you can. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also want to say thank you to David, who is a Free Talk Live Silver Amplifier. That means that David is contributing $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. He's getting some cool perks for doing it, and he's helping us, most importantly, continue spreading the ideas of freedom and liberty and cryptocurrency and peace here 7 nights a week on and across broadcast radio, on, of course, podcast, direct download, archives. We're on satellite, free-to-air satellite across sub-Saharan Africa and North and Central America. There's a lot of different ways that you can listen to Free Talk Live. In fact, I think our satellite signal might even go so far as to cut into Venezuela a little bit. I'll have to check the coverage map on that one. But we definitely get Central and North America there. So if you want to help us out with more, getting Free Talk Live out there even more, go to amp.freetalklive.com. We appreciate that. Let's go to more of your calls and thoughts. Olivia is in Arizona watching us on YouTube. Hello, Olivia.
Hey.
Hey there.
I really love what nobody said to the kid who has Tourette's. And something that I've always wondered is why don't they teach self-defense in school as PE? Like instead of having you just walk laps and waste time, why not teach every single kid self-defense techniques?
Well, they don't want you to be able to defend yourself against the state.
Yeah, no joke, huh? They want you to believe that you need the police to prevent your rape. Oh, wait,
Right.
No, they don't do that.
Yeah. But it's certainly something that my church encourages. It's a self-defense. Being able to defend yourself is part of being a spiritually complete person.
That's awesome. Yeah, I called into Freer Talk Live last night. It's interesting, Ian, that you say you want more female co-hosts, because I called into Freer Talk Live asking how to move to New Hampshire, and I'd be interested. I'd consider it if there was a way to work that out. I don't know.
Well, step one is get to New Hampshire, and then step two is, come around and meet some people, and we'll see what happens from there. I'd say if you're a liberty-oriented female who's not afraid of a microphone, there's a good chance if you're living in the Keene area, we're going to invite you on. We got Angie our Wednesday nights,
and we know that you grok the principles. I mean, after we've been talking to you for a long time, so I'd sit in. I'd co-host with you.
It's by no means going to, put a significant amount of food on the table. There's a little bit of a stipend that we offer as kind of a courtesy to our co-hosts here, but it's not like an full-time job or anything like that. So you'd have to figure something else out to, make sure you get your bills paid. But it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be neat to learn, different things just to grow as a person. But I think nobody suggested Uber driving. That could be cool. But
yeah, Uber is finally available in little old Keene, New Hampshire, but I don't know if that's going to be full time either, because it's a small place, and there's actually a fairly robust cab marketplace here in Keene. I can think of at least a handful of different companies that are doing cab services in addition to the Uber and Lyft drivers that are around town. So I'm not saying I know what it's like, because Uber kicked me out before they started in Keene, because I was driving for Uber. I had a 5-star rating, and they got rid of me.
Yeah, they wouldn't hire me because I've got a conviction for selling weed, but
it was the haters that did it. They called Uber or sent them emails or something like that, because I saw them bragging about it on their hater group.
Oh, wow.
And Uber never bothered to tell me what the complaints were against me. They never gave me a chance to respond. They never asked me question number one about it. They put my account on what they called a wait list. So after I'd been driving and had 5 stars, it was, everything was fine with me. They put me on hold, and I tried to reach out to them multiple times over the 9 months that it took them to figure out that they wanted to break up with me.
Wow.
They said they would ask me if they had any questions, but they never did. So there's different ways to make money. Anybody that's got the drive can I think make it work.
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of places that hire here, and anybody can work in a restaurant, and
Sure.
it doesn't. It's not that hard to to make rent doing that.
There's
if
jobs
you're
up
able
and
to
down
work
Main
40
Street
hours
too.
a week. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always jobs, hiring at various different levels. And speaking of driving a cab, I'm pretty sure Adventure Taxi's hiring constantly. I mean, there's a high turnover in that business. So,
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Hey, Olivia, was there anything else you wanted to share tonight?
Oh, I was just going to comment on Dave from New York's question. I think nobody hits the nail on the head, but honestly, if you give a compliment to anybody, I mean, this is the human thing. If you give a compliment and your vibe is that you're just a nice person, having a human experience with someone, it's gonna resonate a lot differently than if you come across as creepy or needy or like you're trying to intrude. I actually had somebody compliment me on my pants in Walmart one time. It was like late at night, and I had these Galaxy jeans on, and some guy was like, "Cool pants," and I was like, "Thanks," and it wasn't creepy.
Wait, was it where it looks like it's like a picture of the galaxy on your legs?
Yeah.
But they were jeans?
Oh.
Yeah.
So like jeans with painting on it. I've seen some things like that.
I've seen the Galaxy stuff, but it's always been like tights.
And yeah, the pants thing. If somebody's wearing something that's obviously distinctive, then that's different. But if somebody's wearing
just a pair of jeans,
a pair of jeans, or especially a pair of yoga pants, you don't want to say nice pants.
No, that would be weird.
Yeah, I've complimented a lady on her starry pants or whatever, the Galaxy looking kind of. Those are cool. Those are really. I've never seen them on jeans though. So it's like the jeans material or denim or whatever, but it's got graphics on it.
Well, you've seen painted on denim jackets, right?
If I come to New Hampshire, I'll bring them. I'll show you.
All right, sounds good. I'll look forward to it.
Great.
Thanks, Olivia, for the call. Thanks for sharing that with us tonight. Appreciate it. Let's go to Cube on the line on the Discord server. Cube, you are calling from America. Go ahead.
Yo, what's up, man?
We're on the radio.
Oh, are we?
We are now. You are. Go ahead.
All right, epic. Yeah, I was just wondering, like, what are your guys' opinion on just Trump as a president? Like, what he's been doing recently?
What has he been doing recently?
Well, meeting up with all the people and all that shit. Oh, shit.
Ooh, you caught yourself there. We'll let you get. You didn't say it, so
He said shush.
Yeah,
I heard him. So, I mean, what do I think of Trump? I think Trump has done some good things. I think he's done some bad things. I think he's really a mixed bag. It's hilarious watching him troll the liberals. But at the same time, he's talking about a law enforcement surge in the United States, and it's like, we've got plenty of laws getting enforced here. What we need is for law enforcement to back off and go back to just, fighting actual crimes instead of worrying about what people are smoking and drinking. So very, very mixed bag. I think the border thing is foolish. I liked what he said before he was elected, that we shouldn't be in Iraq because it was a waste of money, it was a waste of time, and it was a waste of American blood. But he's been in there 3 years. We're still in Iraq. And he doesn't need Congress for that. He doesn't need anybody's permission to pull those troops out of Iraq. And he's not doing it because he's been bamboozled by the neocons, I think. And so very, very mixed bag. For the record, I think Hillary Clinton would have been even worse.
Yeah.
And
she probably would have escalated wars and conflicts.
Yeah. And the thing is, I can simultaneously say that Trump is awful and that he might be the best president we've had during my lifetime, but
he's certainly the most entertaining.
That's not good enough.
Thank you, Cube, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Yeah, Trump, I would say, is the most entertaining president that I've seen in my lifetime. Like, I've been actually amused more
he's
times.
got the stones to say things.
Yeah, he really doesn't seem to care.
Just horrify people.
Yeah.
And so that's fun to watch. He's
Yeah.
the shock jock of the Howard Stern of presidents.
Politics. Yeah. And we, we've given him credit where credit is due, and then we did that with Obama when he did a couple things right, like when he let some people out of prison at the end of his term.
Well, Obama just did do something right, which
what did he do?
He actually called out cancel culture and said, jumping to reject people who say bad things on social media isn't activism.
Wow.
And coming out against, virtue signaling social justice warriorism, which
That's a surprise.
He's right. He's not wrong.
Yep. So that's what we'll do here on Free Talk Live. We don't take one side or the other. If they actually do something right, we'll tell it. We'll praise them for it. It's rare that they do though, because they're politicians and they're lying, and you basically can't trust anything they say. We'll see you tomorrow night online. In the meantime, freetalklive.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,514. Silver